Hi Yellow 6 students, this is Mrs. Shomura-Takata, and today I'm going to be going over instructions and directions on how to do 2 of the thinking maps for your All About Me project. And the 2 thinking maps I will be reviewing are tree maps and flow maps, okay? So you are going to have to do 2 tonight, okay? But you can do it. As you can see, my Bitmoji is encouraging you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the slideshow, and I want to remind you that you are doing all of your slides on the original slideshow you were assigned. You're going to fill that out, and then at the end, when you're done with all of them, we will show you how to get rid of the extra slides so that you're only left with the thinking map ones that you filled out, the thinking maps that you filled out, and that will become your project. So the slides I'm going to go over today are slides number 14 through 21. Okay, so the first thinking map is the tree map. Oops, sorry. So a tree map, the thinking process that is involved is classifying. 21st centuries use tree maps to classify. They use tree maps to categorize. They use tree maps to sort or group. And they give sufficient and related details. And they prompt convergent and divergent thinking. Convergent means to come together and divergent means to separate. So some question examples would be, what is the main idea of whatever the topic is? And what are the supporting details of that topic? There are a couple frame of reference questions that you should be able to answer when doing this tree map. So one of them would be, what do you now understand about this topic now that you've categorized, classified, or sorted it? And then why is that important? A second question is, how has learning the details of your topic changed or supported your thinking about the topic? And as you can see from this slide, the second question is highlighted, and that's the one we will be focusing on for our thinking map for this project. So here is an example, or here is the thinking map, sorry, not the example. Here is the thinking map that you are going to be filling out. And I want to remind you, excuse me, that the purple boxes are text boxes and you can type in them. And if you make a mistake and you happen to move it, like what I just did, I just made it huge and big. If you make a mistake, you don't worry about it. You go to the left side of the screen and you hover over the undo button, which is that button that's right here, and you click undo and it brings it back to where it's supposed to be, okay? So I'm gonna go over the directions, which are at the bottom here. So the first thing it says is to click on the purple boxes and type in your answers, okay? So that's been the same for all of the thinking maps, sorry. So number 1, says choose one of your ethnicities and type that in the top box, and this is the top box here. So you're going to choose one of the ethnicities that you are. Some of you have many different ethnicities. Some of you only have one ethnicity, and so you're going to choose one of your ethnicities. So if you are Swedish, part Swedish, even if you're just a little bit Swedish, you can choose Swedish. If you're Vietnamese, you can choose Vietnamese. If you're African, you can choose African. If you are Spanish, Hawaiian, Micronesian, Mexican, and anything, whatever you are, you can choose that, even if you're just a little bit of it. Because you're going to have to do a little bit of research for this thinking map. So you will type in your ethnicity here, and then you are going to find 3 traditional foods for that particular ethnicity. You will find 3 traditional phrases and you'll write their English translation. And then you will find 3 traditional holidays and explain what is being celebrated. Now I know this sounds like a lot, so we're going to go to slide 16 and you will see the example. So this example is a person who has Japanese in them. So you can see there's the ethnicity up there. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Oh, wow, that's really zoomed in. Okay, So we're going to start with the traditional foods here. So some traditional foods for Japanese culture is mochi, which is rice cake. It's a sticky rice cake. Sashimi, which is raw fish. And tonkatsu, which is a pork cutlet. Okay? So these are things that are Japanese. Some traditional phrases and their English translation. And you do your best with the spelling, especially if it's in a different language. So this is not Japanese writing, but it's the way an English-speaking person would kind of spell it out. Might not be perfect, but this is what it is. So ohayo gozaimasu means good morning. So you see I've written the traditional phrase in Japanese language, and then I've written in parentheses what the translation means. So ohayo gozaimasu means good morning. Hai, I wrote that. That's the Japanese word, and it means yes. Iie, I've written English, and then it means no. Then, sorry, I'm going to scoot this guy over. Traditional holidays and what's being celebrated. So even for me, when I was making this example, I had to actually look it up. So some of these might not be that super easy. You're going to know it off the top of your head, but this is good because it helped me learn more about one of the cultures that I am. Okay, so May 5th is Children's Day. So I've written the date and the holiday and what's being celebrated. So Children's Day is to celebrate children. The third Monday of September is respect for the aged, and that means that it's a day of respecting older people, okay, and that's in Japanese culture. And November 3rd is a culture day that celebrates the achievements of Japanese culture. All right, so if you see down here, it has the same directions as the one that you're going to do, which is this one. Let me back out here. Okay, so what I want to kind of tell you before we go on is some people might only be Japanese. Now, if you're Japanese, you can choose Japanese, but all the teachers have decided that you cannot choose any of these things that are on here already. You can't just copy, even if mochi is your favorite food, you're going to find something else that is a traditional food. So you're going to have to do some research. You cannot just copy mine and just be like, yeah, I got it all because I'm going to choose Japanese and I'm just going to copy hers. No, you can't do that. Okay? All right. So slide 17 is an example of answering the frame of reference question. So again, the frame of reference question is, how has learning the details of your topic changed or supported your thinking about the topic? And so in the example answer for frame of reference, this is related to the thinking map that was done as the example. In the past, I used to think that everyone used the word hi as hello. But now I know that even if words sound the same, they might have a different meaning if it's in another language. Because hi, that sounds like hi, means yes in Japanese and not hello. So you see how I have kind of expanded and given details about answering how this has changed my thinking. Number 2, another way my thinking has changed about being Japanese is how the Japanese culture has influenced traditions in other parts of the world, like Hawaii. Children's Day is a Japanese holiday, but we also celebrate it in Hawaii. It shows that some good ideas know no boundaries. Okay? So those were just answers based on the example thinking map, the tree map. All right. The next map we're going to look at is a flow map. So a flow map, the thinking process that is involved is sequencing, and that means putting things in order. So 21st century learners use flow maps to sequence steps or stages or events, to order information, and then to analyze patterns. So a question example is, what is the sequence in which these events took place? Another example question would be, how would you demonstrate the steps for solving whatever, fill in the blank? And 2 frame of reference questions that you could possibly answer from a flow map would be, what have you learned from the sequencing? Another question would be, would there be any, or what would be a significant change in the outcome if the sequence was changed? Okay, so if something was missing or got moved around, what would change? So I'm going to go to the next slide, slide 19. And this is what your flow map is going to look like. And I'm going to go over the directions here. It doesn't pull up better. Okay, so click on the purple boxes and type in your answers. On a piece of scratch paper, number 1 through 6. Next, choose 6 important events that have happened to you in your life and put them in order from when you were youngest to now. So you're going to need like a planning page. I didn't provide one for you, but you just can write it on a piece of scratch paper. And if you notice, there are 6 boxes, and each box represents an event. And it starts up here. And if you follow the arrows, this is the first thing. Here's the second thing. Here's the third. Down here's the fourth. Then you follow the arrows, 5th, and then the 6th thing. Okay, so that would be the order you're going to put them in. So in the first purple box, which is this top left, you're going to type out an explanation of what happened. And then you will follow the arrows to fill in the other 5 events that happened in your life. So one of the hints here is perhaps your first event could be your birth. Then that is 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the slide that has the example. Now, the example I did was actually, it's not Ayako for this one. It is one of the members of BTS. And so I just found information about him, and I just kind of put it in order. So I was born on September 1st, 1997 in Busan, Korea. So that was the first event. Then I became a trainee of Big Hit Entertainment when I was in 8th grade. Okay. Then next, in 2013, I debuted with BTS when I was 15 years old. And we go down here. In 2016, I released my first single, Begin. The song is about how much I love my group members. Then in October of 2018, I was awarded a Cultural Merit Award by the President of South Korea. And then on June 14th, 2020, BTS held a streamed concert called Bang Bang Con The Live, and over 700,000 people watched it. So this is just an example. As you see, it's a sample. You will fill your thinking map, this one, with your own information. But I want to go down to the frame of reference. So the question you're going to answer is, what would be a significant change in your life if one of the events was changed or not there? And for my example, I wrote this as an explanation, an answer to this question. If I did not pursue my dream of becoming a trainee, I would not be in BTS. But I might be a professional gamer. So apparently this member has said if he wasn't part of BTS, he wanted to be a professional gamer. Being a professional gamer probably wouldn't be so terrible. For example, I would probably be able to go out in public without anyone recognizing me, and I would be able to live a more normal life. Because as a member of BTS, this person can't quite live a normal life like you and I, okay? But I'm happy that I am where I am right now. I love my group members, and I'm so happy to make ARMY, our fans, happy. I also love that I get to introduce Korea and Korean culture to the entire world. So this is just an example answer for this kind of question. So you will have to think about if something were to have changed in your life, or one of the events didn't happen, how would your life be different, and how would it have changed? Okay, so this is slide 21, and these are the slides you are responsible for today. Remember, if you have any questions, you can email your teacher, you can pop into office hours, you can text or call them on their Google Voice, and we will be more than happy to help you. Okay, so just a quick review before you go. Today for homework, you are going to have to fill out slide 15, which is this tree map. you are going to fill out slide 17, which is the tree map frame of reference question. You are going to have to fill out slide 19, which is your flow map. And you are going to have to fill out slide 21, which is your flow map frame of reference question. Okay? Your copy will be blank. They won't have the frame of reference answer here because you're going to type in your own. Okay? All right, thank you, and have a good time doing this and learning more about your culture and about important events in your life. Bye.